I landed in Aurora International Airport at 7 o'clock in the morning. Everybody told me that Guatemala is dangerous, so I was a little nervous when I walked outside the airport. I'm staying at the Barcelo Hotel. They had a shuttle waiting for me when I arrived. This hotel is a little older, but it's safe, it's clean, and it's only $80 a night. I didn't get much of a view, but I'm not planning on being here most of the time. After I settled in, I went downstairs to Striker's bar and got my free complimentary food and drink. It was alright. It's kind of salty. Drink was good. It was stiff. I then caught an Uber to Plaza Rotaria, which is about a block from Proceses Mall. I walked over to the mall and explored it a little bit. I found a barbershop, and my beard was a little scraggly, so I decided to get it cut. It only cost 40 quetzales, which is about $5. Time flew by quick, and before I knew it, it was 4:30 in the afternoon. I had a restaurant reservation at 5, so I caught an Uber and headed down to Vista 15 Hotel. The lobby in this hotel seemed to be nice, and they had a big aquarium with some giant koi fish. The restaurant's on the last floor, so I hopped on the elevator and made my way up.
I'm heading up to this fancy ass restaurant where you got a view of the whole city, so we're gonna check it out, see what the food's like. Hopefully it's good.
I was the only person in the restaurant, and it felt a little strange, but it also made me feel a little special, like it was all mine. This is a rotating restaurant. It makes one complete circle in an hour and a half. I ordered an old-fashioned, but it was actually pretty bad. The bartender decided to put tonic water in there. What? The food came and it looked delicious. I ordered another old-fashioned. I told him not to put any tonic water this time. Guess what he did? He added water. I had to tell him exactly how to do it. I even told him to throw in a cherry. And the third one was good. The restaurant was nice. The views were amazing. The food was good. And the drinks sucked.
I guess nighttime's the best time to come. Everybody started coming in after 6 o'clock. But take a look at these views. They're freaking amazing.
The bill came and it was 552 quetzales. It's a little expensive. It's about $70. For one person? I went downstairs feeling good, and I tried to order an Uber, but they kept canceling on me. I must be the luckiest guy in the world, because the cook came down, recognized me, and asked me if I needed a ride. Only problem was that he was riding a 125cc motorcycle, and it was raining.
Peso 200 tantas libras, casi 300.
Man, I just got back to the hotel. That shit was wild. Little 125cc motorcycle. Come on, open up. Oh, man. The second day, I arrived to the Aurora airport at 6 o'clock in the morning. I'm catching a small plane from Guatemala City to a small town called Reu. From there, I'm heading to some thermal hot springs called Fuentes Georginas. But when I arrived, I was told that the flight was canceled due to bad weather. So instead I decided to get some breakfast, and what better than some fried chicken for an early morning meal. The name of the airline is called TAG, T-A-G. They only fly local and they fly to other Central American countries, but they canceled on me. And I only had a booking for a hotel for one day here in Guatemala. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hop on a bus. And I heard it's a little dangerous, but I got no options. For now, I'm just gonna eat this Central American ass chicken, chill out, and I don't know, we'll see how it goes. That was a bomb. I was feeling a little bummed out on my shuttle ride back to the hotel. And then I realized I got one more day in the city. So I dropped off my stuff at the hotel, ordered up an Uber, and headed down to Zona 1, El Mercado Central. The Mercado Central is a large subterranean 3-story building. There's vegetables and fruits, stuff that I've never seen or heard of before.
Oh, es blanco de adentro, ¿verdad?
You can find artisanal clay and woodwork, traditional clothing and jewelry, and you can even find really well-made leather goods. Oh, and lazy dogs that don't give a shit. There's so much to look at here. You can spend a long time in this place. But my favorite part of the market was the food court. And listen, I wasn't planning on eating anything. I know I'm a big boy, but I got a sensitive stomach, man. But there was just something about this lady I couldn't say no. Turned out to be one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life. She hooked me up with 4 taster portions. The revolcada was the bomb. The hilachas were it. The pipián was ridiculous. And the caldo de mariscos was amazing. After I ate, I walked over to the Central Park, Plaza Constitución. There was a huge old church here. I later found out it was constructed in 1815. It is called Santiago Cathedral. Old places like this trip me out. I could almost imagine what it was like back in the 1800s with dirt roads and horses and buggies. It had a really cool Spanish courtyard, and the interior of the church was grand, beautifully preserved history. The Palacio Nacional is also located in this plaza, but it was closed today because there was protests and demonstrations going on. If you know what this is about, let me know. Looks like they burned something in the middle too. I tried to talk to a few, but they looked pissed. They weren't having it. Finally found a lady to talk to me off camera. She said the government took native land, built a hydroelectric plant, and didn't keep their promise. I don't know what that means, but whatever it is, it's got these people pissed. I really hope they resolve everything peacefully and fairly. Afterwards, I headed down to 6th Street, which is supposed to be a bunch of markets, restaurants, and bars, but it was raining out and it was also getting a little late, and I had a reservation at a restaurant. I needed to get back to the hotel and clean up before I went. That same afternoon, I headed over to Zona 4 to a building called Casa del Águila. I have a reservation with a restaurant called Flor de Lis, and honestly, I didn't know what to expect. As I walked down the stairs into that basement, I somehow knew that this place was going to be special. I pretty much just found this restaurant on Google and I thought it looked cool. It had an ambiance to it, a feeling, like a place of worship. It almost felt religious. And you know the first thing I did was get a drink. But this wasn't any ordinary drink. This right here was different. This is a sesame seed rum old fashioned. Yeah, you heard right. They use rum that's been steeped in sesame seeds. It almost felt velvety on your tongue, and it was the most perfectly balanced cocktail I've ever had. I didn't know this at the time, but sesame seeds and plants are very important to the Guatemalan culture. I chose the 9-course taster experience. What's crazy about this place is that every dish is based on a story from Mayan mythology, and the hostess tells you the story as she serves the dish. The twins were in the underworld. Ishmukan, his grandmother, was in a cornfield. She burned copal. When they die, they rise to the heaven in the form of smoke. They form the moon and the sun. The dish is sweet corn croquettes with quesillo battered and caramelized popcorn. It's seasoned with chili salt and smoked myrrh. The second course was just a little bit crazier than the first. It's called Thinking of Earth. These are yuca chips topped with pig brain cream. They season it with cutter ant salts and top it with lemongrass and nightshade flower. That same course came with one called Between Life and Death. In Mayan mythology, ants are the only ones that can cross between the living and the underworld. I know that looks like a pork rind, but it's actually a mushroom rind, and it tastes just like chicharrón. It's topped with cutter ant emulsion, mushroom cream, and roasted banana cream. It was crazy. There was just so many flavors, I couldn't figure it out. It was sweet, it was tangy, it was aromatic, and yes, us, this is when your humble narrator ordered another drink. This cocktail was made using tortilla simple syrup. It's a bourbon drink. It's smoked with eucalyptus and garnished with dehydrated eucalyptus leaves. The simple syrup really brought out the caramel and vanilla characteristics of the bourbon. The courses kept arriving one after another, like a train, carrying me deeper and deeper into the Mayan underworld. Finally, I met the evil men of Shambhala, who rule the underworld. Their tongues filled with sweet and sour fermented mango, orange peel puree, and fragrant flowers. They forced themselves on me with a kiss, which cleaned my palate and brought me back to the living. It all ended with 2 courses of dessert and an unforgettable experience. I walked the streets of Guatemala in a dreamlike state, reflecting on my short time in this beautiful city. This was my last night.